I've dealt with HOA nonsense for years. Karen and her little board of clipboard warriors thought they could control everything from fence color to livestock noises. But nothing, compared to the day their so-called security guards pulled a gun on my daughter. Started on a warm Thursday afternoon. My daughter, Maddie, had just come home after 12 years in the military. She'd served 2 tours overseas, Delta Force Special Operations, the kind of quiet professional who could walk through a storm and not blink. She'd traded her combat boots for work gloves, wanting to help me around the ranch. That morning, she was repairing the north fence line. Calm, quiet, minding her own business. Then came the black SUV. I saw it rolling up the long gravel driveway from the porch. 2 men inside, wearing uniforms that looked official, but the patches were homemade, HOA Neighborhood Enforcement Division. It would have been laughable if it wasn't so dangerous. They stopped near Maddie. One of them, a tall guy with mirrored sunglasses, stepped out, hand already resting on his hip holster. "Ma'am," he called. "You can't be working here without HOA authorization." Maddie straightened, wiping sweat off her brow. "This is private property. I live here." The guy sneered. "No, this land falls under the HOA perimeter now. We've had reports of illegal structures." Maddie tilted her head, calm as stone. "Illegal structures? You mean the fence my grandfather built 50 years ago?" The second guard stepped out, hand on his pistol. "Ma'am, we're gonna have to inspect this area. Step back." That's when I started moving. I was halfway across the yard, heart pounding, when Maddie did something that stopped me cold. She didn't move back. She smiled. "Go ahead," she said. "Inspect it, but I wouldn't touch that wire if I were you. It's hot." They ignored her. One of them reached for the gate latch, and before his fingers made contact, she flicked a switch on the nearby post. A spark cracked through the air. Not dangerous, but loud enough to make the man jump back and curse. She chuckled. "Told you it was live." The taller one barked. "You think this is funny? You're interfering with an HOA investigation." Maddie calmly unclipped her glove and pointed toward the badge on his shirt. "That's not a real department. That's impersonation of law enforcement." That's when he snapped. He drew his gun. For a heartbeat, the world went silent. The birds stopped singing. Even the wind seemed to pause. But Maddie, she didn't flinch. She stepped forward, eyes locked on his, and said softly, "Son, I've been shot at by people better trained than you." Before he could react, she pivoted one smooth motion, and in less than 2 seconds had him disarmed, gun twisted from his grip, barrel pointed downrange. The second guard froze, hands in the air, eyes wide as dinner plates. That's when I finally reached them. "What the hell's going on here?" I demanded. Maddie handed me the pistol like it was a wrench. "These gentlemen came to inspect your fence, Dad." I turned to the guards. "You've got 5 seconds to explain why you're trespassing and pulling weapons on a combat veteran." The first guy stammered something about orders from the HOA board. The second just muttered, "We didn't know who she was." "Yeah," I said. "You didn't." I called the sheriff right there. Within minutes, Sheriff Collins and 2 deputies rolled in, lights flashing. After hearing the story and watching the dashcam footage from Maddie's truck that caught everything, the sheriff's jaw clenched so tight you could have cracked stone with it. "You two are lucky she didn't press charges for assault with a deadly weapon," he said. "You've got one option. Hand over those fake badges and get out of this county." Karen showed up mid-investigation, trying to defend them. "They were following HOA policy. We have authority to enforce." Collins cut her off. "Ma'am, you have authority over lawn decorations, not firearms, not private land, and certainly not my deputy's jurisdiction." Karen sputtered, turned beet red, and stormed off muttering about power abuse. The 2 guards were escorted out in handcuffs, not for the gun, but for impersonating security officers and trespassing on private property. As for Maddie, she just went back to fixing the fence like nothing happened. Later that evening, we sat on the porch watching the sunset. She was quiet for a while, then said, "Dad, people like that don't scare me." They just forget the difference between control and courage. I nodded. And you reminded them real quick. She grinned. Guess the HOA just got a little home defense lesson. From that day on, no one, not even Karen, came within 500 feet of that fence. The HOA dissolved their security division within the month, claiming budget constraints. But the real reason, everyone knew what happened when you messed with the Hale Ranch. You didn't just meet resistance. You met Maddie, the quiet, calm storm that even bullets had learned to respect.